Alexander Graham Bell walked into the offices of Western Union in the winter of 1876, holding a patent worth more than most countries. He asked for $100,000. The president of the most powerful communications company on earth looked at him, laughed, and called it, quote, an electrical toy. That single word, toy, is the most expensive word in American business history. Because the man who said it was not stupid, he was a titan. And what he turned down would grow into AT&T, a company that, at its peak, was worth $150 billion. Today, I am going to show you why the richest people in the world do not find money, they invent it, and how a 29-year-old teacher of the deaf out-invented an entire industry. Alexander Graham Bell was born in 1847 in Edinburgh, Scotland. He came from a family that treated the human voice like an instrument. His grandfather taught elocution. His father invented a written system to help the deaf learn to speak. His mother, Eliza, was going deaf herself, and young Alexander learned to speak into her forehead so she could feel the vibrations. Sound was the family business. Silence was the family enemy. Then tragedy came. Both of his brothers died of tuberculosis, one after the other. His parents, terrified of losing their last son, packed up the family and sailed for Canada in 1870. Within 2 years, Alexander had moved again, this time to Boston, where he set up as a teacher of the deaf. That is where the story turns. Because in Boston, Bell took on a student named Mabel Hubbard. She had lost her hearing to scarlet fever as a small child. She would later become his wife, and her father, Gardiner Hubbard, was a wealthy Boston lawyer with a very sharp business mind. Now, while Bell was teaching by day, at night he was obsessed with a problem. Telegraphs could send one message at a time along a wire. What if you could send many at once? What if you could send the human voice itself? Everyone else in the field, including a formidable competitor named Elisha Gray, was chasing the same idea. It was a race, and Bell was not the favorite. But on March 7, 1876, the United States Patent Office issued patent number 174,465 in the name of Alexander Graham Bell for the telephone. 3 days later, in a Boston attic, Bell spoke the first sentence ever transmitted electrically. "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Bell was 29 years old. He was holding what would become one of the most valuable patents in human history. And here is the part almost nobody talks about. He did not want to run a company. He wanted to invent. So his father-in-law, Gardiner Hubbard, took the patent to Western Union. Western Union in 1876 was Amazon, Google, and Verizon rolled into one. Wires everywhere, political power in every state house, and their president was a man named William Orton. Hubbard sat across from Orton and offered him everything: the patent, the rights, the future of voice communication, all of it, for $100,000. Orton refused. He is said to have laughed and asked, quote, "What use could this company make of an electrical toy?" Some accounts have him joking about, quote, "toy telephones for children." He believed the future was the telegraph, trained operators, coded dots and dashes, serious business, not this crackling little novelty in a wooden box. So Bell and Hubbard did the only thing left. They started their own company, Bell Telephone, founded in 1877. Within 18 months, Western Union realized its mistake. It hired Elisha Gray and a young inventor named Thomas Edison to build a competing telephone. The patent war of 1878 and 79 nearly destroyed Bell Telephone. But Bell won in court, and Western Union settled. It handed over its telephone network, its patents, and it walked away from voice forever. By 1885, Bell Telephone had reorganized into a new entity, the American Telephone and Telegraph Company, AT&T. By 1900, it was the dominant communications monopoly in the United States. By the 1980s, before the government broke it up, it was worth roughly $150 billion in today's money and employed close to 1 million people, all from a patent Western Union could have owned for $100,000. Now in Season 1, we told you about Ivar Kruger, the Match King, who tried to invent money out of nothing and blew himself apart. In Season 2, Kiyosaki is teaching us the mirror image of that lesson. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Chapter 5 is titled, The Rich Invent Money. Kiyosaki names Alexander Graham Bell directly. He puts him alongside Henry Ford and Bill Gates as proof of one idea. The rich do not go looking for money that already exists. They see value where the market sees nothing, and they build the container that makes the value real. What Kiyosaki calls financial intelligence has 4 ingredients: accounting, investing, understanding markets, and law. The 4th one is where Bell is the Hall of Fame example. That patent, number 174,465, was not just an invention, it was a legal fence. It was ownership, and ownership is what turns a toy into a monopoly. William Orton had money. Bell had financial IQ. That is the difference. Think about it. Orton was drowning in cash. He had wires strung across the entire continent, and he could not see that a wooden box that could carry a human voice was, in fact, the entire future of his industry. He was rich in dollars and poor in imagination. His asset, the telegraph, was already becoming a liability, and he did not know it. Bell had almost no cash. What he had was a small piece of paper with a patent number on it, and a father-in-law who understood contracts. And that combination, invention plus legal protection, plus the audacity to hold the line, is what Kiyosaki means when he says the rich invent money. And if this idea that money is invented, not found, is starting to rewire how you look at your own work, do me one favor, hit that subscribe button right now, because Season 2 of Yield Tales walks through every single lesson in Rich Dad, Poor Dad this way, one historical figure at a time, and I do not want you to miss what is coming next. Here is the other layer people miss. Bell was not chasing the telephone for money. He was chasing it for his deaf mother and for his deaf wife. His obsession was human. The financial IQ was the vehicle. Kiyosaki says it over and over. Rich people are motivated by a game bigger than survival. Bell was playing for the human voice itself. The $150 billion company was the byproduct. At Yield Tales, we always ask the same 3 questions of every historical figure. What did they build? What did they refuse? And what did the world call them the day before it called them a genius? Bell built a patent, a wife's future, and a company he never really wanted to run. He refused, and this is the part I love. He refused to sell to Western Union on their terms. When Orton finally came back years later, ready to write any check, Bell held his fence. That is the moment the modern American telephone industry was born. Not in the attic in Boston, in the refusal. And what did the world call him the day before? A tinkerer, a speech teacher with a hobby, an immigrant, an electrical toy salesman. Compare Bell to Ray Kroc from our last episode. Kroc bought dirt, real estate under McDonald's restaurants. Bell did something different, and I would argue harder. Kroc bought an asset the market undervalued. Bell created an asset the market did not know existed. Kroc had to see value hidden under a hamburger. Bell had to build the value from a diaphragm, a magnet, and a wire. Both men made themselves rich by widening the definition of what an asset even is. That is the deepest lesson of Chapter 5. Financial intelligence is not knowing which stock to buy. It is being able to look at a wooden box in a Boston attic and see a $150 billion monopoly. So let us bring this into 2026. How do you actually apply the rich invent money in your own life this week? 3 moves. Move 1. Find your Western Union blind spot. Somewhere in your industry, right now, there is a William Orton. Someone senior, powerful, well-paid, who is calling something a toy. It might be artificial intelligence agents. It might be a small marketplace. It might be a piece of software your boss dismisses in a meeting. Write down the toys the people above you are laughing at. That list is the map to your next decade. Move 2. Build the fence before you build the empire. Bell did not become AT&T because he was a better inventor than Elisha Gray. Elisha Gray filed a caveat for a similar device on the same day. Bell won because his paperwork was cleaner, his patent was tighter, and he had a father-in-law who understood the law. In your world, the fence is your contract, your equity agreement, your trademark, your terms of service, your operating agreement. If you are creating something valuable and you do not own the fence, you are Elisha Gray. Fix that this week. Move 3. Sell the value, not the invention. When Hubbard walked into Western Union, he did not just sell a device, he sold a future. And when Orton refused, Bell and Hubbard did not shrink the vision. They built the future themselves. If someone tells you your idea is a toy, they are telling you 2 things at once. They do not understand it, and they will not be the one to fund it. Both of those are useful facts. Neither is a stop sign. And a bonus, if you are between jobs or between chapters right now. In 1876, Bell was a 29-year-old immigrant with a teaching job and a side project. 6 years later, he was on his way to becoming one of the most quoted inventors on Earth. The window between invisible and inevitable is shorter than you think, if you keep inventing. Now listen, if this episode did something for you, if you are looking at your job, your side project, your savings account a little differently right now, here is what I need you to do. Subscribe to Yield Tales. Season 2 is a full walkthrough of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. One lesson, one historical figure, one story at a time. We are not stopping until we have covered every chapter. And if you hit that bell, you will get every single one the moment it drops. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what asset are you inventing right now that most people around you cannot see yet? I read these. I pin the best ones. And sometimes I use them as the seed of the next episode. So do not hold back. Tell me your electrical toy. Because next episode, episode 4, we are going to sit with a man who heard the word no 1,009 times before he heard his first yes. A broken 65-year-old with a social security check, a pressure cooker, and a chicken recipe scribbled on a piece of paper. Colonel Harlan Sanders. 1,009 rejections, 1 acceptance, and a global empire. If Alexander Graham Bell teaches you that the rich invent money, Colonel Sanders is about to teach you that the rich invent stamina. See you in the next one.